polarity thinking. Polarity thinking in general, I categorize as good, bad, right, wrong, up, down, left, right, male, female, light, dark, right? Good, evil, this kind of thing. But to fine tune that to a feeling state, because that's really how the 4D field impacts us, is with feeling. It's with how we feel about things. And if we feel centered, then we can think in a centered way. But if we feel chaotic, then it's very difficult to think centeredly. Okay. So it comes right in through, it connects into our larger biofield through the solar plexus. So if you historically have digestive issues, this is an indication of you being impacted, in that sensory input through the solar plexus is being impacted, right? So we take in and we emanate out. We bring in threads from the 4D field, the invisible realm, and then we also have our own tendrils that go out. Now, if we're very controlling, we have tendrils that go out and touch things that are in the future, scenarios, people, whatever. And these people could also be in the past, they could be in the present. We attach things energetically, and that weakens our energy. Though we may get a very clear validation that are a pleasure, because we have a sense of control when we do that energetically. And some people, that's the only way they can function. Yeah, I'm with you, Edna. Absolutely. I love where you are in the woods. It's I love that area that you're in. You definitely are blessed with a beautiful hobbit. I'll call it a hobbit home because it's so cute and it feels good. Okay. So the solar plexus intake and out is how we engage with the collective field. And if we have a historic digestive issues, this kind of thing, and I don't mean allergies necessarily, but but more about having a sluggish digestive tract, maybe taxed organs or stuff like this. This is a sign that you've been digesting a lot of things in the collective that are not conducive to your well-being. And a lot of that is stuff that was kind of shoved down our throats, so to speak. It's like certain things in the family, certain things in our job, certain things with, there's a whole list of things that we get rather force fed from the collective and that we're expected to adhere to. And I mean, we adhere to it because we silently agree, maybe we verbally agree, we acquiesce, all those things, right? We make choices that participate in that. So we're not completely powerless, but we're definitely not informed. Let's say it this way. We're not informed with the clear truth when we're making those decisions. We're making those decisions out of emotional spaces. We're making those decisions out of trying to get a sense, trying to get a grip, trying to get control, or trying to tune out, to push away, all these things. So we're engaged in the emotion. We're engaged in the feeling, you see. All right, so advancing this on to the narratives, the examples of the polarity thinking. A great conversation that started up on my Facebook wall was I didn't know there was a news story going on about some sort of event that had to do with Christians and I somehow the words family values got woven into that. And I had no idea about this narrative. So it was weaponized narrative pretty much. So it was to pit one group of people against the other group of people. These people are also right, and these are their buzzwords. And these people are also right, and these are their buzzwords. And these people demonize their buzzwords, and these people demonize the other buzzwords. You see, that's 4D field manipulation right there, right? I didn't know about the buzzwords. So I put an inquiry like, what the heck just happened? Because I feel my position has been the same for decades, which is humanity are the caretakers of this planet. We are meant to caretake this reality, not abuse it, treat it as sacred, work with Mother Nature. This is used, 10 years ago, this was considered a progressive value. And then I'm also for going into green energies, if, how we can do that in not just sustainable way, but a regenerative way. All the natural medicine, all these things that were considered alternative. And then, but because I have a more conservative take about, like say, a mom's role in a family, or you know what I mean, like the family unit, family values, all this stuff. And of course, what I think about the government telling us what to do, and waking people up out of the programs, all this stuff is somehow throws me into what a person would label as conservative. So it's like I'm on both sides here, and I try to do my best to select what's significant to look at, and for me personally, and of course you guys send me things too, and I'll watch that. But I'm really not into the whole political stuff, the narrative of it. I get caught up sometimes because I'm trying to bring in some level of neutrality. It's very difficult for most people on both sides. But hold on a second, I'm getting off track here. So the reason why I bring this up was that there was a weaponized narrative I didn't know, and I got accused for being a neoconservative Christian. Is what happened, and I was like, "What?" You I mean, granted, I do come from a Christian family, but oh my gosh, that was the funniest thing. So I had to pose the question: okay, people, when did having family values turn into being a neoconservative? It's like, when did that happen? Being a religious zealot, that's how I worded it. And boy, did the comments come in. And most people, it took me, probably about 4 or 5 comments in. It took me 4 or 5 comments in to realize what happened. This was a weaponized narrative. So it was a buzzword that meant a certain thing to certain people. And what was really actually cool about the comments that were rolling in is that several of you out there are totally on point. You get the manipulation. You understand how it's all twisted, and I was so happy to see that it wasn't just one side or the other. There was a lot of lefties that were commenting, and maybe a couple people that would identify as Trump supporters, but the rest were like you and me. We're just doing our living our lives, looking things through human eyes. We're not doing that, this game. So um, how this connects is that it's getting easier and easier because more and more people are waking up out of it. Is the point I'm getting to? Is that we're able to step out of the energy of the weaponized narrative, and wow, there's this big, big, big. I think that's an osprey that keeps circling and flying right through here. Um, Anyways, that's distracting me because he's huge and he's getting very close. um, yeah, right, this charge. So this emotional charge. So we can see it in a way where there is no emotional charge. And now all of a sudden things get clear. And the more of us that do that, the easier it makes it for others to do that. Even if they don't consider themselves spiritual, even if they consider themselves mainstream, it still impacts them. Us reaching our place of neutrality, us decoding, right, the trap of these narratives, of the different dynamics of the 4D field. We do this, you and I do this, and we become better and better at it. And now collectively this resonates and it liberates other people who aren't aware necessarily on the level that we are. They still benefit. So this awakening is just another sign of this awakening happening from the inside out. It's people are starting to go, and think differently about things. This is promising news.